All right, y'all. Welcome back to the podcast. It's your boy, Deep Rhythm, and we getting into another video. You feel me? So sit back, relax. Get comfortable. Hopefully everybody's doing good because we got a few topics that we want to get into today. Right? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, hope everybody doing good. Hope everybody up and alive and kicking. It's your boy Deep Rhythm, and we're going to be spitting some deep rhythm knowledge and some deep knowledge as opposed to these times, right? So now, to be clear, you know what I'm saying? I keep my shit in the, you know what I'm saying? To be clear, we just want to make sure that we're crafting out ourselves and doing what we need to do in order to create. You feel me? What comes out of our deep imagination is what we bring to the forefront of reality. You know what I'm saying? We're in a time of recreating. We're a time of tearing down old systems and rebuilding new ones. We're in a time of creating authentically what we imagine and think out of our own minds with the power and resources that we have gained from our trials and tribulations, right? Our trials, our pain, all of these different things. We're using all of these aspects of ourselves to create and recreate new things from within our own imagination, correct? So this is the topic and discussion of this video right here. It's the same thing that we've been reiterating and the same thing that we've been talking about over the past course of some time now. So this is the nature of this video right here. And you know what I'm saying? Let's get to it, right? You know what I'm saying? All we're doing is making sure that we're recreating, right, in any ways that we can, infiltrating outlets, correct? We're infiltrating outlets, you know what I'm saying? So, with that meaning that, you know what I'm saying, there's things for us to learn. We have to be able to learn those things. It's like a video game, you know what I'm saying? It really is. To be blunt, it really is like life is just life, right? It's a format structure. It's a format structure disk, basically containing multiple different realms of games, right? And that's just what it is, plain and simple, right? Life hurts. Life is, you know what I'm saying, effed up. But at the same time, in order for progression to take place, you have to go into these different games and different outlets to progress in one way, right? Either it's economics, whether it's maybe even playing basketball, athletics, being sports, or whether it's being in the gym, or whether it's being in writing, and in literature, art and literature. These are just different, almost like these are just different rooms that you walk into, and this is another game. You know what I'm saying? There's another set of rules that you got to apply to. And this goes to everybody. I call it a game because nobody is exempt from this, right? If you just someone who just doesn't fit or into any of these boxes and you want to try to carve out yourself, it's not going to work. You have to fall in line with the rules of the game in order to progress. And I don't care how, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter. Nobody's exempt from that. I don't care who you are. At the end of the day, you feel me? So that's why I say life is life. It's almost like a disc. It's almost like a, you know what I'm saying, like a memory card, you know what I'm saying? Or like a USB comprised of multiple different realms or multiple different games that you walk into in order to progress, right? You know what I'm saying? You have an idea, you have a dream, you have an imagination, right? Now you get confronted with life, and there's all of these different technical functions that you have to apply yourself to in order for you to progress in that way. Driving a car, getting a driver's license, creating a business, understanding economics, right? Being an entrepreneur, you have to understand, you have to understand the 5 P's, right? Promotion, production, pricing, place, distribution, and planning, right? You have to understand the 5 Ps, right? And what goes on in these. You have to understand economics, like I said before. You got to know where your capital investments, or where your investments are going. You have to know where, you know what I'm saying? You have to know what you're progressing to. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand cash flows. You have to understand you know what I'm saying, your balance sheets, income statement of cash flows, all this different types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Your liquid money, liquidity. You know, you have to understand all these different things, right? You know, in terms of economics, right? You have to and even as a human being, right? This is a technical. This is a technical outlet itself. You have to understand history, right? If you as a person don't understand your own culture and the history of your culture, how can you then move forward within yourself, right? Being yourself, right? You can't, because you don't understand the history of your people, right? And we talk about a lot of people not having direction and a lot of kids not having direction in where they're going. How can they then have direction of where they're going when they don't even know the history of their people? And you present all this information in front of them. It's like we present all this information in front of them and telling them they got to do this and they have to do this, and you know what I'm saying, they should do this and why don't they want to do this or this? And they're just sitting there blown up like, wait, what the hell am I looking at? And it's like that because they haven't first learned about the history of their own people. They haven't learned about the culture of their own people. And without learning the culture, the history of their own people, how can they then progress in their culture and their people and become themselves? They can't. You know what I'm saying? And this goes back into the last video I even spoke on about talking about the aspect of communication, right? In terms of communicating with somebody, you go into the culture of you go into the culture and the language of the people in order to communicate to them. We're communicating to black kids in the language of white culture, of European culture, which can't work, right? It has to be presented in the way of African culture or black culture, right? Hip hop, or you know what I'm saying? All these different things. This is how you communicate to the African child or the black child. This is why social media is so successful in communicating to black kids, and the education system isn't, right? Because, you know what I'm saying, the packaging of the information is within the form of the culture, right? And we communicate all of the worst and most diabolical, demonic stuff, satanic stuff in the culture of the people, right? Which is the problem, right? The social media, the beast, communicates to us in our culture in the form of our culture, right? What our culture is. And then they'll turn around and say it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So in order to actually progress our kids and actually, you know, get them in the right direction, it's presenting the information in the form of the culture of, you know what I'm saying, of what we are, right? Everything at the end of the day is progressed through culture. You know what I'm saying? It is progressed through culture, right? You have Asian culture, you have Chinese, Japanese, it's all cultural, right? The African, you know what I'm saying, African nations or tribes or whatever you want to call them, their cultures, right? And it's the presentation, it's the development of these cultures that interact with each other and exchange goods and services with each other, right? Exchange cultural information with each other that progress, you know, the world. It's progressed through culture. So that still stands, and that's never going to change at the end of the day. That's one of the basic fundamental things of life. So in terms of presenting information, you would present information through the form of the culture. When you speak to someone, you know what I'm saying, you speak to an Asian for the most part, right? You're going to not only receive the information that they have, but you're also going to feel and you're going to receive the culture, right? You're going to receive the culture of the person and what's behind them, right? Where they're coming from. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with black kids. Most black kids' mental health, black people's mental health comes from the lack of culture, right? It's like if I haven't received or if I haven't been, rooted in my own culture, how can I then progress and how can I then, come out and learn different things, and do all this? It's almost like trying to floor, you know what I'm saying, a Nissan. It's trying to floor a Nissan or something with no gas in it, right? You have to put the gas in the car before the car can actually progress forward, right? It's like putting, you know what I'm saying? You can't, the car can't go forward. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You have to put energy to, you have to, you know what I mean? You have to pour into what you're trying to move, right? And that's not happening with when it comes to black kids. That's the disconnect right there. It's through culture, right? And this is just the subject I wanted to talk about today, right? I mean, we could go into a bunch of other things, but sticking to the subject of being able to authentically craft out your imagination the way it should be. At the end of the day, in order to carve out your imagination, it does have to fall in line with these outlets, right? It has to fall in line with outlets. It has to fall in line with history. It has to fall in line with these sort of things. Without understanding the technical functions and the fundamentals of things, how can you can't then craft out what you want to craft out? Everything is crafted out through fundamentals, right? Through fundamentals, right? So it's not destroy fundamentals and try to just create something new. No, it's utilize the fundamentals that's already set in place, and within the fundamentals and from the outlets and what people have already created, it's then being able to create and craft out your own self through those outlets, right? And that's the fun of the game, right? That's the fun of the game, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I believe. I think that's important that we just connect and get into all sorts of different outlets, because the more outlets we get into, the more used to outlets, the more used to getting into outlets we become, right? You know what I'm saying? So not all the time is it necessarily our ability to, to gain information from an outlet, but it's the general idea of us getting into the outlet itself, and the general skill, you know what I'm saying, we acquire, or the, of getting into the outlet itself that helps us to progress, right? So it's a difference between being on the drawing board, right? And actually being in function, right? So there's a difference between the two, right? And we need to be in function. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, that's the nature of this video right here. I'm going to be making a few other videos as well and posting them on some other places. I do plan on dropping an art show video coming to y'all soon. So hopefully that you guys can go check that out. It's going to be really, really fun. All sorts of old classical jams going on with that, and all types of creative art to go along with that as well. So stay tuned, you know what I'm saying? Stay tuned, stay appreciative of, yourself and what you have. And we're going to conclude this little video right here. Peace, love, we out.